I lost track of time and I jumped on like 1 minute ago.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I hope Chris Sagasag is here.
Well, we just hit live, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, I
Oh.
thought you guys would have been talking this whole time.
No, I literally just showed up a minute ago. I was I looked at my phone. I was like, what time is it?
Yeah, no worries. We were just commiserating on life outside of.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little
This.
late. Walker had a date, and he's doing his football thing. It's so funny. This is a really nice story to tell, but like our family, and by that I mean Mimi. You remember the blog she wrote when he was a baby, right? It was just called One More Thing. And it's because that's how she is, right? So my family was led by my dad, who would go insane if we were 1 second late to something, to the point where being 45 minutes early was just fine, right? Wow, that's weird. There's a weird sound in my house, and I'm the only one here.
Oh, there you go. Huh. It's not like chains rattling or anything like that, right?
Yeah, it's like a weird
someone
sound.
sharpening a knife.
It's a weird clunky sound that doesn't sound kitten created. Anyway, that's what I said. See, sorry, Sag. I was just saying, my family's like, don't be late. A second late is a tragedy, right? And Mimi's family's like, oh, your birthday's in June. Well, here, have 2 Christmas presents, you know? And it's like, it's really the opposite of how I do stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Walker's picking it up. And I'm like, dude, don't arrange to go have coffee with somebody and then have to split because you're going to football. And he goes, it's not really a date. And so literally exactly that happened. That his alarm goes off and he's like, I have a half an hour to get to Lowell now, so I got to go. And I'm like, dude, that's just not good. He's like, she was there. She went back on the bus. I'm like, all right, just don't do that when you're an adult.
Right.
Wait, were you around for it, or?
I dropped him off at her house and was asked to leave. So I did.
Promptly. Cool.
And then he showed up at our house and was like, 20 minutes after he said he was going to, because he's counting on a bus. And I'm like, dude, what do I tell you? Do it my way, not mommy's way, especially when you're going out to see a girl. Come on.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because you got mommy by being you.
It's just a respectful thing. If it was just meeting up with a dude to the comic store, or Steve at Amoeba or something, like, you arrange and you meet at that time. If you miss it, there's a giant problem. And so your friend isn't mad, right? But if you just come in and go, oh, hey, what's up, bro? Like, that's a good way to not have friends anymore.
Well, as a future potential film director, that's where the producers are going to lose their shit. Because it's going to be like, dude, we're supposed to be shooting at noon, and it's like 12:30, and that's kind of cool when you're Steven Spielberg, but when you're,
but guess who doesn't do that?
Steven Spielberg. Right, exactly. But even if he did, you'd get the pass for it, But
because it'd be rare and not how you usually
things.
Because you can't waste $30,000 an hour on a movie set and have people go, what are you going to do?
Right. Right. Especially now when it's probably like $1 million.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
but if you're Jason Momoa, though, you can show up 8 hours late.
Well, who was that? Was it Vin Diesel? Is it Vin Diesel?
Oh, Vin Diesel, yeah. I was right. Towards the end of it, yeah.
You had your wrong giant muscle-bound Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, you can. Classic mistake. Oh, I'm wearing the wrong glasses, too. No wonder. What a day.
Right?
No, I'm like, why is the screen too far away but not close enough? Oh, there we go. I was wearing my walking around glasses instead of my computer looking at glasses.
Staring at a screen.
Yep. Yeah. I have that with the reading glasses, though.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just go like this for a while, and then you just look like an old man. So, all right, I admit it. I'll get my reading glasses. But then you have to have like a session and know that you're going to be sitting down for like 20 minutes or half an hour or something. Because otherwise, why change your glasses? But then you have to do a whole bunch of this. Like, oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. It was the worst of times, wasn't it? It's like... Speaking of pop culture, I got a new purple V-neck shirt today to go with this Lebowski thing, and
okay.
this is what he wears. His is faded and old, but mine's new, and I'm just gonna wear into it. But Mimi says to me, I just get this purple shirt and off of Amazon, and I open it up. I'm like, great, my purple shirt's here, and I put it on, and she's like, what'd you get that for? And I'm like, I just wanted a purple shirt. And she goes, but you don't have any purple shirts. I'm like, I know. Isn't that the best reason to get one? She's like, you don't like V-necks. I'm like, I know, but it's a little subtle, isn't it? It's not deep. And she's like, all right. And I'm like, it's just, why did I not want to tell her that? Lebowski just has a V-neck purple shirt.
Yeah, I would have squashed it right away. Yeah,
it's just because I always do that. It's so stupid that I was like, no, not this time. Do
you think
it's a purple shirt?
Your brain mentally put it into a flow of next questions that would come, and eventually finding out you bought the rug from the Lebowski movie off of Prop Store in London that would somehow get disclosed in the conversation. So why the V-neck? Why the purple V-neck? It's from Big Lebowski. Oh, and he's like, yeah, but that's only the first thing that's coming. I have a couple other things, and then it just stumbles down.
You guys know because you have partners that know you.
I was just gonna say,
it's just
sometimes
you just know
you want to take path B. Like, you know what? Why did you put that? Why did you leave that there?
The reason I did that is
why did I leave that there?
It's my problem that she thinks that, right? Because of course it's from something, and she thinks that because of me. So I'm just like, no, the line must be drawn here, even though you are factually correct.
Speaking of shirts, hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that's not a good YouTube move, is it? Speaking of that, just excuse me.
Yes, well, I think he's about to show us a shirt, maybe. I think that's and then Larry just left.
No, that's what he did.
He's
I'll see you, Mark.
Hold on. Trust you guys that carry the load while I'm gone. Look at this thing shirt I got.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, that's amazing.
That's pretty
And
cool.
that's a long sleeve. Oh, I know who did that. Show me the tag.
Show me the tag.
Show me the tag.
What's the thread count on that, Mark?
Studio House.
Yep. That's what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think I get served all their ads. They're all horror movies.
You guys got me and finally shamed me into watching Tombstone. You got to do that for The Thing, because that just comes up way too much to the point where I literally just sat down. You guys know Peter Seakosh, right? He used to be John Hebank's inking assistant back in the day. I
do not know the name, but
he's a comic book guy. Anyway, he literally just sent me a Lego McCready picture with a little dog and a little Lego flame kind of out of his thing. It's perfect. And I'm like, nobody believes me that I've never seen this fucking movie, and I'm never going to watch it because I hate horror movies. And I know everything about it already. Oh, look, they got that stuff, and the ending's great. They didn't write an ending, and they sat down and went, well, let's see what happens. And that's the perfect ending. I don't have to sit through this fucking movie anymore. So, but I really enjoy it. Like when you throw that shirt up, I'm like, I get everything about why that's cool, and yet I haven't seen the movie.
I would, you know what? I'd be interested if you saw the black and white version of it.
Oh yeah, I saw that a million years ago.
Yeah, and because I would be interested to see.
He was a carrot.
Well, if you saw the original, if you'd watch the original and roll right into the Carpenter one, but you like Carpenter stuff, so
I love Carpenter.
Kurt
Russell's my favorite guy. That's how much I don't like horror movies.
Yeah. Well,
I've never seen The Exorcist. All the big horror movies. I've never seen them. I never will. Yeah. I don't. I'm not entertained by. You know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Kurt Russell, other day. Oh, there you go. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. It's not.
I guess two people. Statistically speaking.
I was saying, Kurt Russell. I just watched Stargate.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just realized that movie being made in 1994, if that movie was made today, the movie doesn't go the direction it really starts in. Because remember, he's carrying like a big suitcase full of all his like books and all that stuff.
Who?
And
James
Spader.
Yeah.
Like he would have that all on a device, and then the whole beginning of the movie doesn't happen.
Yeah. No,
I know. I'm just saying.
He was, even back then, he was set up as like the oldest of old school guys.
Yeah.
So you could do that now. Just like, no, I don't trust technology. This is the fucking shit. You just
right.
That would be
100%. That would be the line.
That's my favorite trope. The scientist carrying all the papers. Oh, he dropped something. Oh, geez. Oh, what is this? I thought you were going to go the other way with Kurt Russell being like, his son died before the movie started by accidentally shooting himself with Kurt Russell's gun. I was like, yeah, they probably wouldn't include that element of it.
I don't know. Like In Bruges is like that. There's a whole fucking, what's that movie? Oh, Face Off. It's like a legit, action movie, and there's fucking kids getting murdered in the beginning. Wow. So that's in with my horror movies. Like,
yeah, well, Mark has a copy on VHS of the greatest horror movie that.
It wasn't even a horror movie. It was like a action thriller with Christopher Lambert.
It's like the director of Highlander saw Seven and was like, I can make this movie. And he's like, but I need Christopher, I need the Highlander for this. Yeah. And made a movie. And it's a messed up movie. But
they do a flashback of when he loses his kid, and they pretty much put a mannequin child on a bicycle and then just like push into the street, and then the bike just go under the wheels of a car.
And you're just like, what is
But it's comical because like the kid is just like a solid mannequin and then just kind of
falls over.
Yeah. Anyway,
look at old Chuck. I took a date to the thing. Isn't that crazy?
I love that. That's one of the ones I wish I saw in the theater. I would have liked to have seen in the theater.
Hey, baby, you want to see The Thing tonight?
Hey, so listen to this. Speaking of new stuff and like you can't do that movie anymore. The Orville was basically Star Trek: The Next Generation, right? Yeah. Everything now. Oh my God, man! There is no original stuff. My new favorite show is on Hulu, and it's called Davey and Jonesy's Locker.
Oh, you were talking about this a couple weeks
ago.
The
multiverse,
I watched the first one. Thing. I watched the first one and I was like, oh, I gotta pause. Walker's gonna love this, and maybe Mimi even too. And then like life happens, and so Mimi's up north. Our day was really scheduled weird. That's why I'm so late. But she's at her dad's. So at lunch, I say to Walker, "You can fucking watch this show, man." And we watched like the first 5 because it's great. But he turned to me and he goes, "How are people getting away with this?" And I'm like, "I know, because it is literally Loki." Except the portal in between dimensions is this high school girls' locker, and so it's as funny as you think. And it's like 3 sets. It's like the principal's office, the big long school hallway, and the science teacher's office. And that's it. And there's like 6 actors, but they play 1,000 parts every 22 minutes, right? Like the science guy is like in every episode as 14 people. And it's like this, and the principal gets like the Paul Newman slot. It's like all of these actors you've never heard of, plus even what's her name as Principal so-and-so. And you're like, what the fuck? Who the hell is that? And it turns out that's who created it. So she gave herself the last credit. So that's really cool.
I like that.
But it's the dumbest thing with no budget, and it is screamingly funny. So whenever you got 22 minutes to kill, just be like, hey, it's 2 little, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, except they're actually still in high school. Oh, with the added bonus that they are actually from Earth 6669 and know it. No, 6689. Because Walker goes, that's the writer's birthday, guaranteed. But all the universes have 4 numbers, so it's all dates like that. It's really funny.
I was like, how can that be their birthday? I was like, oh yeah.
I heard that
people are young and old. Yeah.
So somebody did the quick math, and 1916 is as far away from 1970 as 1970 is from now. So that's how I feel old. It's like somebody my age in 1970 thought about 1916. Like I think about 1970. Like Wyatt Earp was still alive walking around New York.
Yeah.
If you were 60 in 1970.
But there were no Planet of the Apes in 1916.
No, yeah.
1916. Well,
Yeah.
maybe there were. We don't know. We haven't found them all. Have
Oh,
we found all the
geez.
planets?
We haven't gone that below the Earth yet.
Right.
There's a thing I love.
Well, it looks solid. I was just reading a little bit about it. I know you chatted about it a while ago, but hasn't been picked up for a second season. But it's kind of like everyone's alluding to it. We'll get another one because the budget for the first season was not insane. So
yeah,
it's like,
the budget's nothing. If that's what's, I mean, yeah, I don't know if it needs a second season. Like, you get the joke, but if it gets a second season, that's all you need.
Yeah,
right?
that's cool.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about this with Star Trek, that all the Discovery guys were crying it only went 5 years. It's like, first of all, 5 years is great anytime. And during the streaming, that's amazing. Because if you stream, that's why stuff is only 8 or 10 episodes, because that's all people care. And then if they really like it, maybe they'll get some more adventures for a second season. But there's no reason to keep making new adventures of some old thing, because all you have to, the cost goes up. Your budget performances go up. You know how it works. So, like, if I'm running Netflix, nothing would get 3 seasons. I don't care how much money we're making. We would just take all those people and go do a new thing so we can sell that, because that's how sucking up content works.
Well, then think about this, because that just rattled in my brain, because I was just doing some quick math and I was like, you're probably right. Like, traditionally, you're going to get a television show or a show and you're going to get 8 to 12 episodes. That's what you're probably going to get for a first season. You might. Right? Now. Yeah. And I just was like quick in my head and I was like, okay, 2001, 24 came out. They did almost 10 seasons. Each season was 24 episodes. That's like 200. I'm just doing quick math. I think it's 9 seasons, but 10 seasons. That's 240 episodes. Yeah. Like, that's crazy.
But see, and technically only 10 days.
not just that it's crazy, but it's not cost effective anymore. No, the reason that works for 24 is because they assume you get 20 years of syndication on all the UHF channels, right? And then you sell all the DVDs, right? And oh shit, there's Blu-rays. You sell all those, and guess what? None of that happens because they're streamers. Yeah. So no one is making stuff for syndication anymore because that doesn't exist.
Yeah,
I mean it does, but like,
yeah, that's the big rub now with most of these shows, is like, you have to have a streaming service, to watch a lot of these things, and people actually want the physical copy to put it in and watch it at their own pace when they want, and not have to go through a service to do it. But it's crazy.
Like we've talked about this before. The boulder seems to be rolling backwards on viewing content, where like there's just too much streaming. Yeah, so I'm going back to VHSs for some weird reason.
I didn't leave physical media because it's just easier, because Mimi was gone, we're running our little stuff, so we're on Westerns now, and I have for a few dollars more, and what's the third one? Fistful of Dollars, but I don't have a few good, you know what I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I did, but I sold it when we were doing Amoeba stuff, and because I was like, I don't need this. And then Walker grows up and he's like, well, we have to start with that one, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. So we had to do it with a streamer, and of course you have to rent it. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. It's $3, right? But then we go to the second one, and I said, hey, let's run a test and let you find the streamer or where it is, and if you can have it, and if you have to buy it, you get all that data in the time it takes me to walk down to the chill zone and get
slide it off a shelf,
Blu-ray, and walk upstairs and throw it in the thing. And of course, he hadn't even found out where to get it, but by the time I was pressing play, because it's like, because if you just say, where do you get Good, Bad, the Ugly streaming for free in Google, and you don't get that answer, they go, here it is. It's available on Amazon Prime or whatever. And then you go to Amazon Prime and you click it, and it's like, oh, you can rent for $20.
Yeah.
Like, no,
this title is no longer available.
Asked for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's see if Steve can find it. In the
For-
time that
well-
in the 90 seconds it took me to mosey downstairs, and
only
grab it alphabetically, and mosey back upstairs. I wasn't even trying to do it fast.
I use there's a program called Just Watch, which is just
Yes.
spectacular for that.
Yeah. I was gonna say Steve and I are cheating because we use the Just Watch app.
It's an app. All right.
Yeah.
I'll put that on.
Yes.
And pretty much you can type in any title and it will tell you what streaming services it's available on.
Yeah.
And
And
it
when
also
you first download the app, you add all your streaming services.
Uh-huh.
So it says,
So it tells you
okay,
what
so
you have.
it's gonna be available here for you for free.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this as soon as we stop talking.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
but this is
So,
exactly this is
A
exactly
fistful
why,
of dollars, right?
No,
Streaming on Max.
yeah, Good, the Bad, the Ugly is free on Apple TV if you do the free trial.
Now, see, he found that, and we have Apple TV, and I swear to God, it wasn't on there.
Well, that's the whole thing too. It's like we need a fucking decoder ring to
Right.
find things nowadays. It's like I
Right.
need an app on my phone that'll tell me where on my streaming TV is the movie I want to watch that I could just get out of my app.
here- I will say what I always say to you guys. if you just tell me the movie you want to watch,
I know, but Steve,
I'll add it to the drive.
I just feel like you're our caretaker at that point, and we are Uncle Danny, not being
Yeah, but
able to
yeah.
figure our
You
shit
feel
out.
like
and
what
just
you
making
seem
our
like one of the
waffles.
woodpecker birds in Flintstones, where I'm telling you what I want to watch, and you're like, okay, hold on a second,
yes,
and you're like
but
making the movie, and then you're putting it on a drive for me to watch.
but here's the
And
thing,
I'm
but
like,
here's the
well,
thing.
Okay.
I have all of these movies. I have digital copies of everything.
Can I tell you, man?
Yeah,
I swear to God, I love you for that, and I really appreciate that you go, "Hey guys, just tell me." Right, but I don't want to abuse that because I would be asking you for 3 movies a day forever.
But okay,
Right, so I get it, and I'm not shy about asking you stuff that I can't find, and I know you
okay,
have. Right,
that's fine. That's fine.
so I don't mind doing that, and I appreciate that you say go ahead, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm just putting it out into the world. So if it's stuff like that it's like the
my
good, the bad,
favorite
and the
thing is when you run across somebody like Sisu and go, no, you guys have to watch all this now. I would never have come across that movie ever.
sure.
Hmm.
Yes.
And,
Well, I will.
and
I
then
will
there
keep on
it
doing
is, and
that.
I put it on my little jump drive, and Mimi loved that movie.
That
Right?
movie's
All
spectacular.
3 of us love that movie. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
No worries. That's I have the copy I got of the Boy Kills World is pretty shitty, so I'm trying to get a 4K version of that. So once
I
get
do
that
need a
up-
copy of that.
Of course you do. So,
Because I almost rented it last night for $25, and I
Oh,
was like, ah,
dude,
Rent for $25.
that's
I know.
Yeah.
that kills me, and and then that goes back to the arm wrestle I struggle with at all times, where it's like I don't want to own like this gigantic library of physical media, but I also want a copy of this
Yeah.
because I want to watch it whenever I want to watch it, and that's the thing. Like think of like the Willow TV show I've never seen, and there's no physical media for that for Willow.
I know,
like-
it's so weird.
Like it's like I don't know. I don't, obviously it's not at the same caliber as like Star Wars, but it's also like, dude, there is a huge Willow fan base that would eat that fucking DVD Blu-ray up like cereal. And it's
There's some contractual thing going on with Willow because none of that made any sense.
Yeah.
That like here's some new thing and you can't buy it.
dude, I was reading like the actors are in it. Like some of the actors are in it are just like they like put press releases out. And I don't know, maybe not press releases, but they put information out and they were essentially like, yeah, I was in the Willow for the whole first season and now it's not on Disney Plus and now no one can see it. And it's like, wait, what? Like like
Actors though, they shouldn't care, right? They got paid. Go do
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
I know, I get obviously you
Yeah.
work so hard, you want people to see your labor, and I totally get that, but at some point you're like, that's just out of your control, right?
You know, I also think it was probably with streaming kind of like refocused the money of that people were getting, and the pie became a very small pie for the actors and participants in the show. Whereas like I felt like physical media, like that was an old negotiated contract, like how much
Right.
people got. So it was like people could make money on that stuff. Like if you go back and like there were movies that budget wise did not make a lot of money in the theater, and then there's hundreds of them, but like that moved to like DVD, and the DVD like went nuts. And then all of a sudden, this movie that was not a hit is now technically a hit because the DVD sales were like nutso, you know?
That was Zoolander. That happened to Zoolander.
And I think like Born Identity, I think I heard like Matt Damon talk about that, where like Born Identity, I think did okay in the theater, but then once that hit DVD and like, I think
I love that.
That like it blew up, and then he was like, yeah, and then we're like greenlit to make another one because of the, you know, the physical media sales. I think Matrix was one of those like that too, because I think that's what's Matrix. Is Matrix 99?
I think Friday was the first example I could think of that happened with.
Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Where like it was just like the biggest VHS rental in the history of Blockbuster or something like that.
Was it really?
Till the time.
No, I know. I mean, that's amazing though.
Yeah.
But that totally makes sense too. That's a pretty good cult movie. That's a great movie for sitting down and, you know, sparking one up and watching that movie.
The
I
dude
said to
has
Walker,
taken you over.
I said to Walker when he was a kid for the longest time, like, it's Friday. You ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. And he was like 6 going, Daddy, what are you talking about? I'm gonna get you high. And so one day I did it. He was like 11 or 12. And he's like, is that movie appropriate? And I'm like, let's watch that movie, man. I'm sick of it. It's just drugs. And he's like, oh, there's drugs everywhere. And I'm like, I know. It's a funny movie. You'll love it.
Well, I am super duper appreciative that you did that, because that's what my dad did with me with Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Oh yeah.
Where I was definitely young enough where I don't think I even had the concept of marijuana in my head yet. So I'm watching this movie with these two guys that are stoned out of their mind, hunting marijuana the entire movie, and I have I'm young enough that I am not following that at all.
It's just, why do these guys care about cigarettes so much?
Right?
But these guys are silly.
But just
sometimes they're sillier than other times.
And then just to watch that movie, just to think that my dad wanted to watch that movie to get some laughs in, but he had probably me, and he's like, well, he ain't gonna know what's going on anyway. It's that movie I directly relate to that, and then the other one that I always find completely fascinating that I've seen it like in the past recently is Night Shift. Whereas like my dad showed me Night Shift way early on. I never in my brain ever realized that they were running like a brothel out of a morgue. Like it never clicked in my head. Like what was going on? Like
they were just partying.
Like it was anyway. You
talk about that in your book, Steve.
I do. I give both of those nods to my parents.
I'm having like the best pre-San Diego ever by putting your book together and Walker's book together. There's some challenges for making the storytelling help in Walker's book, and so I'm totally getting like why making books is fun. Because you have to look at this. Like when I did the Shield book, that took 7 years. That took like 10 years, honestly, because of the coronavirus. And Loose Cannon took like a year to do because I just do it when I'm not doing anything, you know. Yeah. But this, we're trying to hit a deadline, so I'm looking granularly at speed, which is a different way to do stuff. And for me, that's like how normal people do their jobs. Me, I'm like, oh, I gotta hit a deadline, really? Oh, shit, put my watch on. And but it's really fun. I dig it. And so when you brought up Night Shift and the thing about your dad and Cheech and Chong, I'm like, dude, I just read that. Nice. And it's 40 days in everyone else's future. So
yes, nice. Well,
40 days, Jesus.
Is that crazy? It's 40 days until, first off, 40 days
until Tuesday, but that's when Steve and I leave. So
yeah.
It's technically 41 to preview night.
And then the 26th is Deadpool Wolverine.
Right.
Which is going to, I think that's going to start the uphill Marvel climb again. I think that's Feig's second coming. I think that's when everyone starts going and being like, oh shit, he's been like in a warehouse with like old computers, like typing and making sure the internet can't figure out what he's doing for the past 5 years.
He's not connected to the internet.
Yeah, and now he holy shit.
He's using like an Alpha Smart or something, right?
Yeah.
I still think that there's gonna be a Deadpool walking around Comic-Con just handing out tickets to a secret screening.
I don't see how they don't do a big thing.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could.
It's you can argue it both ways, right? Like Deadpool marketing is insane, you know. So I think they have something planned, but we're not going to be able to figure out what it is. That would be cool. Like if it was really Ryan Reynolds walking around giving people tickets, you know, just so somebody gets a picture and he lifts his mask to a little 7-year-old or something, you know.
Well, listen, we've been to enough, and there's definitely been how many?
Oh, there was that one photo of a Deadpool that had 2 bodyguards like walking with him, like far enough behind that we were like, wait, they're with him, and this guy, and he was wearing like a screen accurate something or other.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's either Ryan Reynolds or Tom Holland in there or something.
Well, see, I think when you go as long as we've gone, not as long as Larry, but you know, on like the almost veteran status.
Oh, dude, you guys have been going 20 years, haven't you?
Probably pretty close.
You're veteran. I think if you go over, I would say
10?
5, but if you're over 10, I mean, you guys are San Diego veterans. Come on.
And then, like in the first few years when we were like photo hunting, like looking for people and stuff like that, you pick up on all the cues and how things like how people work. And my favorite thing is just finding, as I've told you, Larry and Mark, a million times, it's like finding the security guard, the right polo shirt. If you find the right San Diego Comic-Con security polo shirt, you're about to walk into like Tom Cruise. Do you know what I mean?
And then when that guy just magically appears, then also
you're just like, oh, okay, something's happening. Like even when I even think back, even when you had Ron Perlman at your booth, one of the polo shirt guys was there. Like it's like you.
And then when RDJ walked by the booth, when he like left the Marvel booth, and he was like, I'm gonna walk straight out through the front door, and he did, but there was a very clear path for him to do so.
Oh, of course.
Jared Leto too.
Yeah, exactly. It's always like it's like, oh shit, and it's funny. It's always like my experience has always been like, I'm like, okay, something's going on because there are way too many people here. So then you like look over the crowd and then you're like, oh shit, there's the polo shirt guy. So let me just, oh, okay. And then it would be like the Jared Leto. It's like, okay, something's happening. They're kind of like, fireworks over here. Let me run over here. That was like how I've always that's how I caught Robert Downey Jr. That's how I caught Jared Leto. Kind of all that stuff.
Didn't you get Alison Brie one year? Didn't you? I thought that was pretty.
Oh, I got the Community cast. Walking, because it was exactly that. It was like they're gonna rope a dope. They're gonna like shiny object over here, giveaway, blah blah blah.
You're like Ethan Hunt in the first Mission Impossible, where he looks back and there's like the couple making out in the corner, but one of them has an earpiece in, and then
you're just like
the drunk guy whose shoes are just too nice looking, and like, wait a minute,
something's not adding up here. But that was the Robert Downey Jr.
Chuck's got some cool info. They have Deadpool, Wolverine, and Claw.
Oh yes, they're in some movie theaters. I've seen a couple people online.
That's pretty.
A lot of people have been getting the charm bracelets, and the necklaces.
That's pretty cool.
Free tickets. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah,
that's super cool. Good. That's good promotion.
San Diego, though, that's gonna be great.
Speaking of good promotion,
we're gonna have these at the booth, right?
Oh, there you go. Look at that, Mark.
Hey.
Espinoza.
Where's my? Oh, I moved it. Are we allowed to talk about the Angry Girlfriend book? Is that?
Go ahead. Walker and I were talking about that today. That we've said that a few times on the show, and nobody is coming after us. So, go ahead. We're gonna have that too. Go ahead. Talk about it.
I can't wait. No, I can't wait. And with their own certificate of authenticity, which I think is brilliant.
Believe it or not, they're all upstairs because I just finished bagging and boarding them all.
My favorite thing about Comic-Con is when you have your first conversation with the first customer who picks up that book, and you go, "You know what that is, right?" And then you explain it, but it's kind of like you're like, "Oh," and then, but then like by the third people, you have your spiel down. So you're like, all right, here's what that is. I see you looking at it. Here's what the history. See that? Yeah, he had a girl. He dated her. Yep.
Oh, that's cool because there's Steve. He's got it. He's got 5. Are you allowed
Yeah.
to have those? Holy God!
It's funny.
I thought there was only one.
Oh,
there you
that's
go.
my.
I have a very it's funny. My garage, I have a very small pile of comic books. It's mostly like old Richard Corbin things that I bought last year at Comic-Con, Walker's books, and Mark's books. It's like all I have. It's like I have almost nothing, and I have because all of Larry's stuff is traded, so it's all in little. Yeah, I have my true facts.
You've got your comics down to about mine. I have mine and Walker's, a couple of stuff from like Mark, other buddies of mine. But it's just that my books are like 17 boxes.
Do you still have that many books?
I have four boxes of all of my books, just for the rest of the time of giving them out to people and going, oh, here's something, you know. So, and there's, depending on how thick they are, there's between 25 and 50 in each book. So there's never more than 200. But I have 8 books, you know, so that adds up.
Is there one that you don't have at all anymore?
Of mine?
Yeah.
Or just in general? Because
of yours.
I mean, I have a couple, but to sell, no. We're out of True Facts.
True Facts. I was gonna say the past
I think Rock was trying to talk me into it today. He's like,
to reprint it?
Just reprint it. Do fucking 25 copies.
Reprint it.
Yeah. So I think I should add something. And Mike, this retailer I know, Mike Wellman, did another intro for when it was put in the back of the AIT floppies for Image. And so I was thinking about adding that, and I was like, man, that's just too much work. And as I was having that thought, Walker was just like, what are you doing? You have the PDF already, right? Like, do a different cover if you want. And I'm like, no, why? Like, I'm just older now. It's going to be just a picture of an old man instead of some guy who's all happy about comics.
Not your book, but a book I just reread recently.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
I love that book.
Yeah,
I think I read
that book and Steve's book will go right next to each other.
Is that about the size? Is that the size?
No, yours is a little bigger.
It's a little bigger.
Yours is 6x9. It's the size of the Shield book, if you have that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's cool because that's the same size as Loose Cannon, and that's how I accidentally did it. I because I was working on the Loose Cannon book, I just opened that up and started a new file and started going from page 1, and then I was like, oh fuck, this isn't comic size. But the cool thing is that now it gets to be square brown because of the printer and the page thing and everything. You can just get
that's not an ash can, is it?
No, well, it depends. Like, people use the different things. Ash cans are basically zines, mini comics.
Yeah,
it's because it's printed on it's lining the ash can, right? It's printed on shitty paper just to prove the plates work. That's what that is.
I don't think I ever knew that, the terminology.
Of what, the side?
Yeah.
Well, it isn't like I always thought like square. It's called square bounding. What do you say it?
So comics are called saddle stitched because everybody thinks they're staples, but it's just a loop of wire. It comes down and it hits it, and so it's basically stitching the books together on a saddle that they fold the paper. See, it's a saddle stitch. And then square bound is obviously the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You score the paper, throw the glue on the top, and wrap it around. And then you print it in square.
My first holding a square bound comic, I think, was when they reissued when all the Classics Illustrated. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Classics Illustrated was all those square bound. And most trade paperbacks, I think, are.
Yeah. If you're over 56 pages, you're probably square bound.
Yeah.
Because of this, your book is going to be a hybrid, which is really cool. And it's a square bound saddle stitch.
Yeah.
So you get all the coolness of the crease and your book lays flat. I don't know if you notice when you throw Walkers down, it kind of like bloops out because it's paper so big. So yours with a higher page count would really, like, the cross section would look like this, you know? So what they do is score it and then stitch it. And so it just lies flat. So it looks like a square bound book with 2 staples on it. So I talked to my print rep and I said, can you tell me roughly where those staples are? and because I want to print Steve Ukraine's Wait, have you seen this on the spine?
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to do a book with a spine and not have your name on it, man. Come on.
If we have a spot.
And she's like, yeah, it's about 2.5 inches down from the top and 2.5 inches up from the bottom. So that middle part, you're okay. And if the stitches hit it, it's not going to be that big a deal. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I want to just roughly, you tell me roughly where they are. And
I love it.
We'll roughly put it in the middle, you know? And so that's what we're doing. And you know, fixing last minute typos and stuff.
That's right. I got to do that tonight. That's my goal. That's my goal tonight. I have to.
Mark, you can do that too. You know, like extra eyes is good. I said.
Oh, that's well. I was going to have Lauren look at it, but yes,
yeah. Either way, just
yeah.
You know,
why not?
You should give it a skim. Tell me where I made. Okay. Can I ask you honest opinion? Because you guys are both. I consider.
I think
my extremely talented creative writer friends.
No, I practice radical honesty. That's why I only have you guys as friends, because everybody else can't take honesty. So hit me. I'll tell you.
So the first one I wrote was 3 o'clock high, right?
Yeah.
I reread that one. I want to rewrite that every time I read it. Yeah. How do you stop yourself from having that impulse of being like, Larry, remember that first one I wrote? Throw it away. I'm giving you a new one. How do you do
you know what I will tell you? No, sorry, Steve. I can't do that. Just write another one and do that one better. That's the only thing you can do, man. Absent a time machine.
Okay.
John Buscema has a great story about this. So John Buscema teaches art class, right? This guy gets stuck and he keeps, what's taking so long? He's like, this telephone sucks. He keeps erasing the telephone and drawing the telephone. The whole point of the thing is the guy's on the phone, right? The fucking phone over there is not part of the show at all. It's driving this guy insane because it's not right. And John Buscema goes, that's cool. That's what you have to learn. The only thing you can do is draw it your best you can. And then do the telephone better next time. So that's the only thing you can do. In fact, don't ever say this again because I'll start to make fun of you. Because everyone in comics that I have no respect for thinks that, and they're it's just wrong. They're pussies. They're stupid. They're like, oh, I sucked. No, did you do the best you could at the time? Got it. If yes, then there's nothing to worry about.
And the reason why your latest one is so good is because the first one was a stepping stone to where you are now.
It's because it was the first one.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at their first one and goes, oh, I could do that better. But the well-adjusted people are like, and I have. Have you read the rest of them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I guess, no, and that makes absolutely 1,000%. Yes. It's like, you know, my muscles weren't developed in the beginning. They're more developed now. So that I did it better. The problem is, it's 3 o'clock high. That movie is amazing. I need to write a better one. That's where it's like, that's where I feel like I need to just.
Here's what I suggest.
Speak poetically about that movie more.
Here's what I suggest. I think every what did we do on this one? How many did you do? 14? Something like that. 15. So whatever your next one is going to be the first one of volume 2.
Yeah.
I urge you to do 3 o'clock high again.
Oh, okay. That's actually a good idea.
And I can just always have 3 o'clock high be your first one of a book you start.
There you
go. Really would.
I like that.
You know what, Larry? That's so brilliant. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, because then you have a little italics paragraph beforehand telling everybody what you just said. You know, I did this first one. I'm really proud of it, but boy, was I raw. And now I'm not. And here's this thing. And then when you do volume 3, you're like, here we are with 3 o'clock high again. This is like 5 o'clock high by this point.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got holograms and dancing girls.
No,
you know?
Wait, you still haven't seen? It's like
right. That is such a smart idea. Thank you. See, that's why I wanted to ask you guys. And that's actually, and I think the beauty of that is, you only get that if I ever make a second book.
What do you mean if?
Yeah, I mean the title's right there, man. I just gave it to you.
I don't see how you're not doing. Wait, have you not seen this? Volume 2, but Mark is right. Wait, have you still not seen this? That's the title.
That's where I rewrite all the ones from the first one. That's not even.
No, but that's what makes the first one funny, right?
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
I have 3 drafts that I've already started, so I'm going to keep on doing them. I told Rodney about it, and Rodney's like, I have a list of movies for you. And I was like, all right, we got to give me the recommendations. Because everyone just gives me recommendations. And then I have to decide if it falls in my pool. That's really how it works.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. But isn't it kind of fun that you're like the weird movie guy now? And people are like, hey, Steve, hey, can you write me a little something on this movie?
Right. Yeah.
Rodney Top Secret doesn't get enough respect in the nowadays world. So
I would totally do.
I just hope I spelled Rodney's name right.
Well, did I spell it right? Maybe that's the question.
Anyway, that book's gonna be good, man.
It'll be fun. Yeah. It'll be fun. I'm excited.
I think it's good. Now it's just a matter of catching typos, which is so funny because I don't do that to my books. I literally don't care. Because speaking to your should I rewrite 3 O'Clock High again? Is that I told this to Manny. Because Manny's having it has to be perfect. Like no, it has to be out.
Right.
But I told him that 80% perfect sells like 100% perfect. You can spend all that time making that 100% perfect, but you are the only person who sees that 20%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So then what are you doing? Like, are you making it late to make it perfect for no one cares besides you? Like, just take the money, man. It's commercial art.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's true. Yeah. My biggest thing is just making sure is names. That's my thing. Because I reference so many names that I'm like, I have to make sure I have the names right. And like the fact that, my favorite part is the fact that I shared what Rodney sent, and autocorrect changed Rodney's name. And I was like, well, that's a signal.
That's a name now, Rodney.
Yeah. So that's a signal enough. So
yeah, that was cute.
Anyway, I don't want to drop yet. Have you watched the new Acolyte episode 3?
We haven't seen the new one, no, because Mimi didn't see the first 2, and we told her it's girl friendly, you're gonna love it, and she's like, don't watch it. So she's up at her dad's, and Walker and I are going up there. So we're taking the Roku, and we're gonna catch up on all our TV.
Nice. It has the vibe of a show that I kind of want to watch multiple episodes of in a row.
Yeah.
I watched the first one, and I was like, I want to just burn through these, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. Yeah,
that's a good. I wish I had done that, honestly.
And they're doing one every week. Is that the release?
Seems like.
Okay. Well, they dropped 2 to start, and we watched those like it was a movie, and then the new one came out, and Mimi, I don't know where she was Sunday. Oh, she was still traveling. She was in Kentucky. So yeah, our stuff is just all over the place today, or this week.
Wait.
Last 2 weeks.
We saw Mimi on Friday. She made an appearance on here, and then she went to Kentucky after that.
Yes, Louisville. I know. Yeah. So,
world traveler. Get those raising.
That's why I don't have a job.
Well,
I do. I have a job being awesome.
It's a full-time job, baby.
Well,
if you had seen what I did to Jack Fry this morning, like with you going, oh, I'm glad I talked to you guys. You guys are very, very smart on those things. I did something so cool. And then Walker and I, like, he's working on this thing called Street Cleaners, and he was like,
yeah, great name.
It's fucking great. And
are you hearing all these pings? I'm sorry if you are.
Yeah, it's all right. It doesn't matter. Pings. But so this morning I was just like, he was like, I need a comic relief character for my team. And I'm like, dude, just make the hero comic relief character. That's really hard. Just picture, the guy from Lockout, like everything. And he goes, he says is a one-liner. And I'm like, that is hard to have the main guy who's running the mission also be funny. It's going to make all of your other characters like more strong and real because they have to deal with this guy. He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I can make you do it in a second and you will walk through film school for free because you'll be just paying for everything with your Hollywood money of this. And he's like, what? And I was like, I always tell you to cast it in your head so you know the voice of the guy that, like, who's a rugged action guy who's funny fucking 100% of the time? And he's like, Ryan Reynolds? I'm like, make Ryan Reynolds your guy and put everybody around him and you'll have 6 movies by the time you're 35. And he's like, Oh my god, he did actually. He didn't even say anything. He just went and turned around and walked away because he went to go right. And I was like, it's like when you say, like a comedian says a funny joke, and other comedians go, "Oh yeah, that was a good one," because you can't give it the laugh it deserves because you get how it got there, and that's just too good. And all you give, no, okay, right on. That's what he did to me. He was like, "All right, I got it." No more discussion.
Fucking werewolves.
Oh, dude. Did you see that page? His last page of Jack? Oh, dude. Nothing left for it, but just say the catchphrase, I guess. I'm like, dude, if they do a Jack Fry movie, that might be dialogue.
Oh, 100%.
Before he says it. That's just the direction for the artist. I just love that. And then Jack Fry.
I love it. Fucking werewolves. Well, on that fucking note, should we
Yep, I gotta get going. We gotta go pack food for tomorrow.
All right.
Well,
thanks, guys. This was a blast. I was
always a pleasure.
Yeah, gentlemen.
Thanks for those who tuned in.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil and Chuck. Who else was there? Timmy was there. Chris Sagasay, Hector.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all. And I think I have Airplane 2 digital. I gotta check.
Yeah, Timmy had some question about that, right?
Yeah, I definitely. I know I have Airplane. I think I have all the Zucker stuff, but I gotta look now. Now rabbit hole. So
Great.
That's where I'll be for the next hour.
All right.
No dinner for me.
All right.
Anyway. All right, gentlemen. Later.
All right. Thanks. See you. I guess. Goodbye.
Ending.